All right. Let's see. This is given that sine 35 degrees equals 0.574, determine values for all these other things that I'm guessing are somehow related to 35-degree increments. So let's draw 35 degrees out of here, and that'll kind of be like maybe something like that. So here's where 35 degrees would be if we're rotating from 0 degrees right here. So that's 35. And remember, this is a unit circle right here. If you didn't notice, the radius is 1. And since the radius is 1, this coordinate right here is really cosine theta sine theta. Or, whoa, sorry about that. It's really, sorry, cosine 35 sine 35. And what we know is that sine 35 is 0.574. So this value right here is 0.574. Which really means the height, this value right here, is 0.574. Okay. Let's see. Sine of 145. So if you think about 145 degrees, that's really related to 180 degrees. It's 35 degrees less than 180. So for sine 145, it's really kind of this mirror image point over here where this is 35 degrees. And here's my 145 degree marker if I'm rotating all the way around from 0 to here, right? And so this coordinate over here would be cos 145 sine 145. And since it's the mirror image of that red point over there, I know this y value is going to be the same. So this is 0.574. And so this point right here, the sine 145 is 0.574 as well. When we do sine of 215, let's see, 215, I'm guessing is 180 plus 35. Yeah, that's 215. So we're going to reflect it down here instead. Right, whoops, right there. So this is 35 degrees. So then this will be 0.574. This point right here goes with 215 degrees. So we're looking at cos 215, sine 215. And sine 215 is going to be, now it's down below the x-axis. So we're looking at sine 15 being negative 0.574. Cos 125. Okay, let's see. Cos 125. Let me get a different color here. We'll use orange. Okay, so cos 125 is going to be 90 and then 35 more than that. So this part's 35. So let's see. So this point right here, this is associated with 125 degrees. So it's going to be cos 125 sine 125. If I cut it like this right here, you can tell that if I take this triangle and rotate it 90 degrees, I get this triangle, right? Maybe you can tell that this rotates to there by 90. So this 0.574 right here ends up rotating up to here, and this is 0.574. And that's associated with my x value, right? Because it's going to the left of the y-axis. So that means my x coordinate right here is negative 0.574, which is what cosine 125 would then have to be. So we can list our answers. Let's see. Sine 35 was 0.574. Sine 145 was also 0.574. Sine of 215 ended up being negative 0.574, and cosine of 125 also ended up being negative 0.0574. And it says write an equation that when solved would give you the value of cosine 325. Cosine 325 is going to be down here. This will be 35 degrees because 360 minus 35 is 325. So here's the 325. So this point will be cos 325 sine 325. And so then this part will be 0.574, which means the y value right here will be negative 0.574, right? Because it's down below the x-axis. And we need to figure out what the cosine value is. Well, we know that cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. And we know that our theta is 325 degrees, so I could say cos squared 325 plus, or yeah, that's fine, plus sine squared of 325 equals 1, which is the same thing as saying cos squared of 325 equals, or let's do plus negative 0.574 squared equals 1. And so then I could isolate my cos squared. So 1 minus whatever that is, negative 0.574 squared. And then you take the square root. So plus or minus this thing. And then there are two answers, but really there's only one. If I took the positive root, then I'm getting the positive x value. If I took the negative root, I'd actually end up getting a value that's like over here, this length instead. So I'm going to throw away the negative one because I'm in quadrant 4 where the x's are positive. So cosine 325 is whatever that positive root is right there, right?